All right, the fourth round draw for Asian World Cup qualification has happened. I haven't seen the group, so I don't know what they look like. I wanted to do a video for you all today where I give you all my raw reaction, my thoughts, and predictions for these groups. I know the matches are not until October, so we're a few months away from it, but it never hurts to do some early predictions before the matches start. And as well, we can do another one the weeks leading up to when the matches actually happen. As we all know, the third round of Asian World Cup qualification has concluded, so these are the 6 nations that just missed out on direct qualification for the 2026 World Cup. And for all of you that may not know, in this next round, in the fourth round, there will be 2 nations that will automatically qualify for the World Cup, and as well another 2 nations that will go into the 5th round for the last and final spot in Asia to qualify for the World Cup in North America. So this 4th round is going to be very interesting, and I'll do loads of content leading up to when the matches happen. So if you're a big fan of Asian football, make sure to subscribe, because this is the channel that you need to be at for it. And before you forget, make sure to smash the like button on this video. So without further ado, let's go check out the groups and give you all my thoughts on them. All right, so we have Group A and Group B. In Group A, we have Qatar, UAE, and Oman. And then in Group B, we have Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Indonesia. Right off the bat, you can already tell Group A on paper is the easier group, and Group B is the group of death. I feel really bad because I would have liked to have seen all 3 of these nations qualify from Asia for this World Cup, but they are going to be pitted against each other. In best case scenario, only 2 of them will qualify, and there's at least 1 guaranteed nation that will qualify. We'll start off with the less juicier group in Group A. Qatar, they're hosting it. They have looked very uninspiring throughout this World Cup qualification campaign. It has been just a downward spiral for Qatar since the start of the 2022 World Cup. They have just been bad, and that's just putting it nicely. They did recently hire former Spain coach Lopetegui. He did get a decent win against Iran, but then got thumped by Uzbekistan. Maybe he can finally get his tactics implemented by this point. Who knows? I don't know. I think this group is wide open. It is any nations to take. It could be UAE, it could be Oman, it could be Qatar. But realistically, if I was Oman, if I was the UAE, I would feel like I still have a really good shot in qualifying for this World Cup automatically. Oman just recently hired my beloved Carlos Queiroz. If you guys are watching, I am Iranian. I am a huge Iranian national team fan, and obviously I'm not saying Iran should have rehired Carlos Queiroz or anything like that, but he will always have a special place in my heart. He is probably my favorite coach of all time, and it was kind of touching to see Oman hire him. He's kind of been on a bit of a downward spiral as well since he left Iran during his first stint after 2019. He's had some unsuccessful campaigns. He did have a little like positive bump when he came back to Iran for the 2022 World Cup, but as I said, very small positive bump there. But at the end of the day, for Carlos Queiroz, we all know he knows how to get through the Asian World Cup qualification choppy waters. I would say that's kind of his specialty. Yeah, he may choke in the big stages at World Cups, Asian Cups, and all that, but he knows how to navigate the world of Asian World Cup qualification. Obviously, he's got to hit the ground running ASAP. He's not going to have that much time to work with too many of the players, get to know each player's strengths and weaknesses. He's probably going to go ultra haram defensive football, but it could suit Oman. But at the same time, Qatar, UAE, they haven't been that fantastic in qualifying. So maybe if Oman take it to them, maybe they have a better chance. I don't know. I like the appointment for Oman to bring in Carlos Queiroz. Best of luck to you guys. I would love to actually see Oman qualify for the World Cup for all the Carlos Queiroz haters, because I still love the guy. Again, I want to preface, I don't think he should become Iran's coach for a 3rd time, but it doesn't mean I can't still love the guy for everything that he did for my national team. So I would love if he could prove the haters wrong and get out of this group. By the way, everyone, don't forget I am giving away a signed Ali Reza Jahanbash jersey. All you have to do is head over to this post on Instagram. Make sure you are following me, like the post, and comment. And that's all you have to do to be entered. So make sure to go do that if you haven't already. But now back into the video. UAE, I'd actually say, are probably the favorites in this group. I think they could be the ones to top it. So maybe I'm honestly going with a UAE first, Oman second, Qatar last. I mean, the only hope for me is if Almoz Ali and Akram Afif just absolutely go Super Saiyan and save Qatar, because this team has just looked trash. Or Lopetegui absolutely gets it right in all 3 games. When it comes to Group B, man, I feel so bad. Saudi Arabia, Iraq, and Indonesia. And more particularly, I'm talking about Iraq and Indonesia, because if you guys watched my previous video when I did my raw reaction to the 3rd round draw and kind of giving some of my thoughts on that, I really thought Iraq were a shoehorn to automatically qualify behind South Korea, but they choked and Jordan took their spot. I still think Iraq could top this group. I think they are the best national team in this group. Saudi Arabia have been on a little bit more of an upwards trajectory since they sacked Mancini, brought in the beautiful, luscious Hervé Renard, who I would have loved if he became the Iran head coach. So there's a lot of parallels for these 2 groups with coaches and Iran, in my opinion anyway. So I think it is Iraq's group to lose. I think Iraq could get this automatic qualification spot, and especially with how that last round tailed off, how much it burned for them. Maybe vengeance is on their minds, where they're like, okay, we need to go out for blood and win every game, be serial killers on the football pitch and get these wins and be ruthless. Don't let these teams dangle along. And Indonesia, can they still continue being the gift that keeps on giving? Be that surprise package. They've hired Patrick Kluivert as their head coach, a well-renowned forward in the history of the sport. But in regards to like his coaching pedigree, I'm not too sure. It was definitely a very risky move from Indonesia, but it kind of makes sense when you think about it. They're bringing so many of these like dual nationals from Dutch descendancy to the Indonesian national team, and for them, a lot of those players idolize a guy like Kluivert, so there's a lot of respect, and that's a big thing you'd want from your players to your coach. So they'll definitely listen to him and whatnot. Saudi Arabia, on paper, should be the favorites. They're hosting the games. They need to qualify for the World Cup, especially with all their future plans and future World Cups. They got to really lock in. But I mean, I honestly think personally, and maybe I'm jinxing Iraq again, even though all the Iraqis were really mad at me saying I was like downplaying you guys, even though like I was actually giving you guys a lot of praise for an Iranian. I actually give the Iraq national team a lot of praise. If you guys have watched numerous videos on my channel, I have a lot of high hopes for the Iraqi national team in the future. I think you guys are doing a lot of the right things. So for me, I think Iraq have to be the shoe-in for that direct spot, and I really think it's a crapshoot between Indonesia and Saudi Arabia, who've gone back and forth in qualifying. Indonesia's gone wins, Saudi Arabia's gone wins. It's really anyone's to play for, but Group B is the one I'm just laser focused on. Like, I want to see what can happen in this group. If I were to give like my predictions right here and now, again, this is super early and I'll do probably more in-depth videos weeks before these matches actually happen. Once we get into October, I will say this. I think UAE will surprise a lot of people and finish top of Group A, Oman finish in second, and Qatar finish in last. Yeah, maybe there's a little bit of bias with the Oman pick because of Carlos Queiroz, but you know what? I'm going for it. I'm backing my boy Carlos Queiroz with Oman. His haram defensive football will get Oman just an inch of survival going into the 5th round. And then in Group B, I'm going to go with Iraq in first. Oh, man, I think it's going to like come down to goal differential. But Saudi Arabia in second and Indonesia in third. And again, to all my Indonesians, I know you all are watching this. I hope I am wrong. And I'd love to see you guys continue your World Cup campaign. But I just think this group is too much for you guys. They have impressed so much, in my opinion, in World Cup qualification. But I think this is where the story ends. But I think this is only building blocks for Indonesia and future World Cup qualifications. So that would mean Saudi Arabia would face off against Oman in the 5th round. And for all of you that don't know, the 5th round is basically a 2-legged tie, and the winner over the aggregate qualifies for the last spot in Asia for the 2026 World Cup. And in my predictions, that would be Saudi Arabia and Oman. Oh my God, imagine if Carlos Queiroz just absolutely shit houses Oman past Saudi Arabia on those 2 legs and gets them to the World Cup. Oh my God. Carlos Queiroz would be like a god in Oman for the rest of their footballing history. It would be absolutely insane. But boys and girls, that's going to be the end of today's video. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you guys agree with what I had to say? Disagree with what I had to say? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know which national teams do you think will get those automatic qualification spots in this 4th round for the 2026 World Cup. Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to smash the like button on today's video. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video next, where I did a combined XI of the best Asian footballers of all time. And click over here as I post content weekly on the channel and you don't want to miss it. So boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.